Hey guys, so let's talk about Smackdown. Let's do what I'm going to call the Smackdown breakdown. Kind of how things were relevant to this upcoming premium live event and potential storylines further from that. So, a couple of interesting things happened this Friday, okay? First of all, they took Sheamus and Drew out of the Money in the Bank match. Okay? And it was then agreed that in order for them to re-qualify, they were going to have to take on Jimmy and Jay, the Unified Tag Team Champions. The main purpose, I feel like, behind storyline-wise, it is because both Drew and Sheamus it would be very easy for either one of them to potentially cash in on Roman right away, right after his last man standing match with Brock. That is the storyline. That's what they want us to believe was the reasoning behind it. The truth was, though, it was, I believe, a means to do a couple different things. First of all, it gave them the opportunity to involve Sonya to some degree by making it appear as though Adam Pearce did not have all of the authority that he's making everybody believe that he does. And that's going to come into play later in this particular episode. But the other thing that this whole storyline with Drew and Sheamus having to team up is, I believe, somewhat planting a seed for a potential meeting of the minds for Drew and Sheamus. Getting them back together to some extent. Maybe not in the near future, but it's planting that seed for the future for that. Again, since they did beat the Usos, they are back in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't see either one of them winning. Even with them getting on the same page for this match, this particular night, I think we're still going to see issues that are going to take them outside of the ring when someone climbs the ladder to actually get the briefcase. So we then had another interesting thing. So we have Sami Zayn defeating Shinsuke Nakamura in a qualifier match for Money in the Bank. Now, this comes into play during the night when he is talking to both him and Paul Heyman are discussing the fact that there is no way that Brock Lesnar is going to beat Roman Reigns in a last man standing match. The winner is going to be Roman Reigns. And now that Sami has managed to get himself in that Money in the Bank ladder match, his claim is that he would never cash in on Roman Reigns. What he says that is interesting is that he would cash in on Brock Lesnar. So, that, I think, is starting to kind of shake the foundation of that relationship that Sami has built with the Bloodline. And that tells a somewhat interesting story there that could lead to Sami turning into a babyface, which would be interesting, would be nice. We've seen Sami as a babyface and a heel. He does amazing work both ways. And I don't think that it's going to hurt Shinsuke Nakamura to not be in this match. This could definitely be a very interesting story if Sami did end up winning and did cash in on Roman. That's a possibility there. But we will talk about that later when we get into our predictions just before Money in the Bank. So, here is the part that did not make sense to me. Um, so we have Sonya Deville is being told that she has a handicap match. It's going to be against Raquel Rodriguez. Now, and Lacey Evans. Why? Okay, this to me just really doesn't make sense in that Raquel has been a babyface. From the way I've been seeing it, people have been cheering for her, they're not booing her. She has not been trying to get heat on herself with the audience, with the crowd. I don't quite understand the reasoning behind that. So here is the other thing that's interesting about this match. So when the match actually happens, so she's being told about this, but Deville ends up bringing out. She ends up coming out with Xia Li and Shayna Baszler, essentially making it a 3-on-2, because she has Xia and Shayna that can help and can cause distractions. This as well doesn't make sense. So, and I don't really know that this did anyone necessarily any good. So, you have Xia Li, who as of right now has been known as a defender, right? So, a babyface character that people want to cheer for, right? She had Aaliyah in her corner, as well as the name is escaping me at the moment, but at any rate, she's been seen as a babyface character. So why is she coming out with Deville, who has been seen as a heel, along with Shayna Baszler, who again has been seen as a heel, is even teamed up with Natalya, who has been playing a heel character. So why do we have a heel character coming out with a heel and a babyface, and facing a heel babyface duo? I don't really understand why. Unless you're just trying to get all of these women on TV to give them TV time. Honestly, there was not really anything that happened in the match or afterwards that necessarily plants any little seeds for a future, right? I'm not understanding it really, I guess. I guess Xia Li and Baszler both did attack Lacey Evans afterwards. I just don't know. Okay, here's when I'm reading this, and it's just looking this up over the internet here, where they are putting Lacey Evans as a baby face, making that what makes it make sense, her teaming with Raquel Rodriguez. I don't see Evans as a baby face. She did when she first had their promos that she was coming back to TV, but since then she has acted more like a heel, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, I guess. Um, let's talk about Ronda Rousey and Natalya. I get that this segment was supposed to make this match more personal. It really did not do anything for me. I'm not necessarily excited for this match. It'll be a fine match. It will. There really isn't that great of a story building towards it. I mean, yeah, Natalya came out dressed like Ronda, kind of mocking her. What has built up this match a little bit, that as far as this week is concerned, that has built up some little seeds for potential, was actually a video that showed up on YouTube, and it was all storyline kind of planted. It wasn't what it appeared to be, which was just a conversation between Ronda and now I'm forgetting her name. Oh wow, Shayna. Yeah. Essentially, it was Ronda asking for Shayna's support. And Shayna essentially told her she wasn't going to get involved. She wasn't going to take a side. Natalya is her tag team partner, and that means something to her. And Ronda was not happy about that. Obviously, Ronda and her being friends, the seed that this plants is for a potential feud between Ronda and Shayna, and that could be good. That could get very personal, and they could tell a very good story if that's the seed they're planting and the route that they're taking. That makes this match somewhat more interesting. It doesn't really tell me whether Natalya is going to take the title or not, but that's okay. It doesn't make me excited necessarily for this particular match, but this particular match happening is what set up the potential for that seed to be planted. So here's another interesting thing. So we have Shotzi defeating Tamina. The interesting part in this is that it was supposed to be Shotzi taking on Aaliyah, not Tamina. That's what was originally scheduled. It didn't happen. There are two different schools of thought on this. Two different things that have been kind of going through the rumor mill. And one is that Aaliyah is possibly injured. We don't know how true that is. Another rumor is that she is back in the Performance Center, and that they're working with her to try to clean up some things. I haven't necessarily hated Aaliyah's character, but she has not necessarily made me hugely interested either. So that'll be interesting there. So we need to go back to another interesting thing that happened. I'm really kind of excited to see where exactly this goes and what they do with it. So we had the New Day come out, and there's supposed to be a dance-off. The New Day and then Jinder and Shanky are supposed to come out. The dance-off didn't happen. Obviously, Shanky's dancing. He likes it. I'm enjoying Shanky's dancing and liking that. It's been kind of fun. A lot of people were not excited about having a dance-off. That's not what this segment was about. And the actual dance-off never even began because the Viking Raiders came out and attacked the New Day. That is what this is about. This segment was about trying to get the Viking Raiders over as a heel tag team, which is something that they have not done potentially since they were in NXT. In NXT, they might have had a heel run, but I don't think they have since they came to Raw and Smackdown. So, this could be fun if they do this right. So I'm kind of interested to see the route they take moving forward with them as a heel tag team. What else? We had another segment with Max Dupree. I don't know where this is really going. It's not really doing anything for anyone. I don't think it's really doing his character any good, but so at the end of the day, what we end up having is Drew and Sheamus being added to the men's Money in the Bank. Added back, I should say. Which doesn't change anything from before. But the fact that they had to team up is the interesting part and why the segment really happened. But also to be able to include Sonya. We did have Sammy that was also now included in the men's Money in the Bank match. And we had Shotzi being added to the women's Money in the Bank match. And that is all that changes there. We did get an Intercontinental Championship match. Kind of glad that they did this now as we're having a United States Championship match at Money in the Bank. So that's kind of fun. Gunther, of course, defeated and retained his title over Ricochet. I don't know that this necessarily hurts Ricochet. He certainly does need to start picking up some victories, especially after such a short run with the Intercontinental title. But we'll see what they end up doing there with Ricochet. He is a very talented individual, so hopefully they'll start giving him a little bit of a push. So with that is our breakdown for Smackdown and kind of what it means for Money in the Bank and how that's been affected. We will be back Tuesday. I don't know if it'll be Tuesday morning. Probably, maybe. It might be Tuesday morning, it might be Tuesday night. But we will go over Monday Night Raw. Alright, so let me know what you guys thought. Whether you agree, disagree. If there was something else maybe that you feel were seeds planted for potential storylines. Can't wait to hear from you guys. Thanks.